Alright, this is a little mini-series that we're going to be doing on this channel. I am obsessed with weaponry, just ancient weaponry. I wanted to be able to talk about ancient weaponry on this channel a lot, but I wanted to make it fun. I wanted to make it fun and kooky and weird, you know? This is my Glock 17. I don't actually own a Glock 17. It's too big for my little body to conceal. I own a Glock 43X. But that looks dumb in a title. If for any reason I would not hold up against one of these Chinese weapons with my Glock 17, it would go over here somewhere in I'm dead. If I could destroy a Chinese soldier with this weapon, with my Glock 17, it would go over here in peppered, because I would pepper their chest. Alright, sorry for the long intro. This is the Jian sword. Standard infantry weapon. It's the M4 carbine of a lot of the ancient Chinese dynasties, and for many, many years, it's a sword. It's a regular-ass sword. This thing dates back to the 7th century BCE. Just kidding. BC. Who says that stupid shit? It's a double-edged sword primarily used for stabbing, right? Stabbing motherfuckers in their chest. Originally made out of bronze, ended up being made out of steel. It's been around. And are you fucking shitting me? Nah. Doesn't stand a fucking chance. 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Not even a question. A bullet would go directly through this fucking thing. Made with bronze? Are we talking about a bronze sword? Bing! Straight through it. If he tries to deflect it, bing! In his fucking head. What are you, a Jedi? Chang? I'm Luke Skywalker, bitch. I'm from the future, bitch. Brings us over to the, Dao. Dao sword, a traditional Chinese single-edged sword, originated during the Ming Dynasty, 1776 through 1122 BC. As I said, this guy is used for stabbing, right? Stabbing into things. That takes a lot of training. It's very hard to, like, accurately stab something, you know, and it takes a lot of force and technique. Way easier to fucking slash like that. So that right there is why the Dao was created. Way easier to slash someone. You don't have to train all your troops, like perfect technique of how to use a sword, right? You can just give a bunch of guys a Dao and just throw them into battle, expect them all to die, but at least they'll cut some motherfuckers up. All that being said, easy to use, deadly. Come on. 2 to the chest, 1 to the head. Fuck you.
This nigga really think he's Bruce Lee.
By the way, a lot of these go by many names. There's like so many different names you can call these. All of them I don't know how to pronounce. I'm going to sound like an asshole when I try to pronounce them, but I'm still going to try. Keep in mind, there wasn't like a company making these. It's not Colt making the triple crossbow or the fire machine. No, they were just like dynasties would have a certain guy make this thing, and every one of them was very different from the last. They didn't have Lockheed Martin or Raytheon, you know? They had a dude. They had a dude who knew how to make weapons. Chang, he makes the fire machine. And with all that being said, did you guys know that the ancient Chinese had fucking flamethrowers? Not really the ancient, this is 900 AD, around there. This is a terrifying fucking weapon. Like, we have flamethrowers now and they're fucking terrifying, but imagine not knowing what a flamethrower is. You've never seen anything like that, and then all of a sudden, your enemy places 900 of these on your city walls, shooting fucking fire. Sticky fire. It's sticky. It sticks to you and you can't put it out. Most of ancient Chinese warfare is it's a lot of psychological warfare, and we'll get into that with some of these other weapons. Like, yeah, this kills people, but the main purpose behind this is to absolutely terrify the enemy, which it did. It wasn't necessarily used against troops. I mean, you could use it against troops, but it's really hard to move around. They would stick it on front of ships and then, you know, shoot fire at other ships. Again, many different people made these. There was not a company making these, so every one of them is going to be a little bit different. Most of the time, this box down here is brass. The box that holds the oil is brass. You put a little gunpowder up here at the end and then light it, and then you pump the petroleum. But like I said, brass? A thin layer of brass? 9mm Luger can penetrate right through that. 16 rounds of it, I'm draining that bitch. Not quick, it could still fuck me up if I was close to it, so I'll put it like right here. Like right there. But I think I can drain that bitch. Alright, let's talk about crossbows. Chinese crossbow technology is fucking nuts, guys. Okay, I mean, they basically invented it around 600 BC, they think. And they just kept innovating on it. They kept doing different things with this weapon because they knew it was a great weapon. The reason to make a crossbow is because, similar with the Dao, a longbow Recurve bow is very hard to use. Takes a lot of training. You can't just give a bunch of longbows to regular-ass infantrymen and expect them to hit their target. It takes a lot of training. Crossbow, you just shoot it. There's a lot of different Chinese crossbows. There's a lot of different variations of them. I lumped them all into one because it would have just gotten kind of boring with all the different kinds of crossbows. You got just a regular crossbow that they would mass produce. You pull it back and you put one bolt in, and then you shoot the bolt and then you pull it back. And then they figured out how to make this one, which basically uses like a magazine fed kind of thing. You pull the thing back and then an arrow falls in, and then you shoot that arrow, but then you pull it back again and an arrow instantly falls in. So you got like a few bolts that you can use there, and it's much faster to shoot. Then they had things like the triple crossbow or the double crossbow. These had 3 bows like put together, and then you pull them all back, and then it can shoot a big ass arrow. This was essentially their artillery. This was used against ships, shit like that. The thing is, they think crossbows might have been originally invented by like African tribes way before this. It was a much more primitive trigger and stuff like that. The Chinese perfected it. You gotta give the Chinese their due when it comes to the crossbow. A lot of people think the French invented the crossbow. I don't know why that is. Yes, they used crossbows like crazy to protect Paris from the Vikings and shit, but the Chinese, man, the Chinese made the crossbow. Let's just put it that way. The trigger system and the release system made out of bronze, that's the Chinese, man. And you know, the Romans and the Greeks used crossbows too, but they didn't just mass produce them as infantry weapons. The Chinese made thousands and thousands upon thousands of crossbows and just, like, fed them to their infantry. Alright, as far as if I could defeat it with a Glock 17, let's find out their range. Ancient Chinese crossbows had an effective range of around 80 yards. Yeah, if I'm, like, in combat, I'm not hitting shit with a Glock 17 at 80 yards. I'm gonna be nervous, and I'm gonna be... But if we're close, I mean, what does one of these things shoot at? 200 feet per second? I could fucking dodge that shit. I could catch the arrow. You know what I mean? I'm gonna put it, like, right here. Alright, butterfly swords. This is a quick one. These are basically the handgun of ancient China. This is a concealed carry weapon. Wasn't really used in warfare. You just kind of put them in your sleeves, and then you could whip them out. Basically, big-ass daggers. And I'm fucking them up. Anyway, you guys are going to be pissed that I spent all of 2 seconds on butterfly swords, but I don't care. The meteor hammer. This thing has like 17 fucking names, okay? It's the meteor hammer in this video. It's another one, kind of like the butterfly swords. It was just a personal defense weapon. Probably never fucking used. It's just a bronze or steel weight on a rope, and you throw it at people. Look at this video. I'm fucking that shit up. All I'm gonna do is pull back here, exactly 4 meters away. His rope, 3.5 meters. Oh no, it's flying right here. It's flying right by my face. I'm watching it happen. Meanwhile, I'm in my workspace. I'm sitting right here. I'm letting him play with his little toy a little bit, but then I unload on his fucking face. You understand? Look at this shit. This is one of my favorite weapons on here. The fire lance. So we have a spear, right? Just a regular ass spear. Everyone knows what a spear is. What happens when it shoots fucking fire? Doesn't really do anything, right? But it's very scary when you have a guy running at you with a spear and it's on fucking fire. You know, these guys love gunpowder. Everyone knows that. So what they did is they got this little piece of bamboo, tied it to the spear, and then filled it with gunpowder, lit it up, shooting fire. Only about a foot. It's an intimidation tactic. It's psychological warfare. A bunch of guys with these, that's terrifying. Spears shooting fire. And yeah, if you got stabbed with one and then you're just on fire, your chest is on fire, you know, that sucks. That's one way these were used, but then one guy started putting rocks on top of the gunpowder and packing it in. Then he realized when you compress gunpowder and light it, it burns way faster. In fact, you can compress it so much that it fucking explodes and shoots the rocks out. This is the first firearm. This is the first gun. That's crazy, right? Now you have a spear with a shotgun on it. Isn't that fucking crazy? That's some crazy shit. Most of them blew up and killed the guy using it, but still pretty crazy. Now the issue is, with this spear, you have to point, you have to light the fuse, wait for the fuse to go down, and then that's a long time. Here's what I have to do. Bye-bye. Grenades. Pin zinte hoye. I didn't even try to read that. That's not how it's pronounced. So everyone knows this one. This was made in like the 12th to 13th century. Cast iron. You fill it with gunpowder. Have a little fuse up top. You light it. You throw it. blows up, cast iron just shatters, goes everywhere, little tiny bullets basically going into ancient Chinese soldiers. Yeah, I'm fucked. I mean, this is literally the exact same thing as a grenade today. So another thing that's really cool about the grenades is, yes, they invented the modern day grenade, but they also kind of invented the flashbang. They would just make these things without metal casings. All it would do is make a loud fucking bang. You have a lot of these things just being thrown into your troops, a lot of loud explosions, which no one is used to at the time. That's terrifying. You're gonna fucking run. This is around the 12th century, nothing made that sound. You had swords clanging, you had crossbows going off, and a bunch of screaming, okay? But nothing was making these sound. Have you guys ever heard an actual grenade go off? It's way louder than you think it is. So yeah, you're gonna be fucking terrified, and you're gonna retreat. All right, this is by far the craziest weapon on this list. You guys know this thing? Yeah. Ancient China had that, to a degree. They would strap rockets onto arrows, put them in these little carts, and then just light them up, and these are called rocket carts, 100 missile launchers, a bunch of names once again. This is an extremely high-tech piece of weaponry for the time. They think it was first conceived around the year 1000. It's very disputed though. Around 1380, they know the Ming Dynasty was using it against a lot of people. And it's a fucking crazy weapon, man. You put a lot of these on a wall, I don't stand a chance against this thing, okay? I'm fucking running. Because it's also a psychological weapon. It's terrifying. These things scream when they go up. They're rockets. Another sound that you probably didn't hear that often in war at the time. And then they would have fucking 50 of these things firing all at once. No, that's the most terrifying weapon on this list. It's over here. Anyway, this video fucking sucked.